Welcome to this week's episode of News Highlights with me, Dr. Ashashi Attah, where we break down the major stories shaping national discourse in Nigeria. Three major developments dominated the headlines this week: the restoration of oil production in Ogoni land, the Central Bank of Nigeria's surprise interest rates cuts, and the reinstatement of Governor Fubara in Rivers State. Let's dive in. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate restoration of oil exploration in Ogoni land, a region that has stood still in terms of oil exploration for nearly 3 decades. Why does this matter? Ogoni land is not just another oil-rich region. It is the symbol of resistance against environmental degradation and exploitation, dating back to the struggles of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni Nine as far back as the 1990s. Since then, oil production in that region has come to a standstill due to community opposition and severe environmental damage. What's new? The president's directive has been framed as an economic necessity as Nigeria suffers with revenue shortfalls and desperately needs every barrel. The government promises that these restarts will come with community development and benefit sharing. However, analysts warn that this move could reopen old wounds. Already, a group known as the Ogoni Voice Achiever Foundation has rejected the federal government's plan to restart oil exploration in Ogoni land, demanding that no operations commences until full atonement for the sins of the past is completed. In a nutshell, Ogoni oil is back on the table, but the balance between economic gain and social justice will determine whether this is a breakthrough or another flashpoint. On another note, the Central Bank of Nigeria made a big policy shift by cutting its benchmark lending rates by 50 basis points down to 27%. This is the first rate cut since 2020, a signal that inflation, which has cooled for 5 straight months, is no longer the only priority. The CBN wants to give breathing spaces to businesses and encourage growth. The question will be, will this actually trickle down? Commercial banks in Nigeria are often slow to adjust lending rates, meaning small businesses and households might not feel the relief immediately. Cutting too soon could also reignite the inflation rate, especially with food prices being unstable and subsidy removal driving costs higher. But if managed well, this move could mark the start of a more balanced economic recovery. The bottom line is, the Central Bank of Nigeria is tasting the waters, believing that inflation is currently under control and it is time to shift the focus towards growth. Progressively, after 6 months under emergency rule, Governor Similaye Fubara, his deputy, and the State Assembly have been reinstated. The crisis, as you recall, began as a power struggle between Fubara and the Assembly, triggering federal government's intervention over concerns of instability in the oil-rich states. You would also recall that the political rift started as a result of a lingering influence of the former governor and current FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. The bigger question is, should Abuja continue to step in whenever state politics spiral out of control? While President Tinubu's decision appeared to have calmed waters, it also sets a precedent that the federal government may always have to play referee in fragile state politics. In all, the spotlight is now on Governor Fubara and how he manages his relationship and the legislature going forward. This week's stories may look different on the surface level, but they tie back to one single theme: the struggle to balance power, accountability, and growth. From resource politics in Ogoni land to economic reforms by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and of course the return of order in Rivers State, one thing is very clear. The choices state actors make now not only impact today's headlines, but the future of Nigeria's stability. Please share with us your thoughts and opinions in the comment section on the headlines discussed thus far. And please remember to subscribe and follow Aspio Connect on all social media platforms. I remain Dr. Ashashi Attah. Until next week, stay kind, stay blessed. This episode was produced by Aspio Multimedia Studio. Call us on 081 300 37031 for your podcast production, event coverage, script writing, photography, jingles, professional voiceovers, and much more. We are located within the premises of Tazo Luxury Hotel and Suites on B1 Lafayette.